These are my thighs. The slender legs of my youth have gone. They've been surrounded. If I'm honest, I'm not really friends with my body at the moment. Or maybe we are friends, but we increasingly find each other annoying and just wish we didn't hang out quite so much. Over the last few years, I've grown lazier and lazier until eventually I've pretty much morphed into some kind of TV-watching couch potato. My slump began a couple of years ago. After saving all our pennies, my husband and I, we bought a house. Upon throwing ourselves into suburban daily life and DIY, we became little nesters. Not long after though, a bout of serious illness and months of recuperation confirmed our lifestyle had shifted down yet another gear. And by the time I was thinking about getting fit again, I found out I was pregnant. We were both overjoyed and very happy that life was once again beginning to move forward. But 12 weeks later, at my first scan, my excitement turned to despair, as I discovered there would be no baby. I had suffered what they call a miscarriage. All they saw were a clump of cells inside a set of membranes which my body hadn't realised was already gone. It was days later when the physical pain of my miscarriage began. Now I don't know if or when the heart made its last beat, but I do know it was a life that was part of my life for a time. And whilst clearly not quite right for this world, I mourned for the months I'd had to imagine the laughter and the giggles we would all share. So for now, it's been notched up mentally as yet another painful body fail. You see, until recently, I kind of thought of myself as someone who was fit and active, someone who liked taking on adventures and travelling to exotic places, and just generally doing stuff. But now there's a sense of emptiness, combined with a feeling that I've let myself down. I've let the podge creep in and the excuses take over. So I want to know, where is the old Hannah? Does she still exist? And what is it that really makes me happy? Is a life in pursuit of slimmer, skinnier, tanned thighs my answer? I recently found an old dusty box of family photos. They're of my mum growing up as a young girl, when holidays were spent close to home, usually building sandcastles on British beaches. Life, it just looked much simpler back then. And one image in particular literally makes my heart flutter. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's my rose-tinted glasses, or maybe it's my mum's beaming smile. But either way, I'm taking it as my source of inspiration. So I've decided I'm going to take on a series of small, low-key adventures, with the hope of creating a bigger change. By dipping my feet and taking the plunge. My goal is simple: to seek out open water and swim in it, at least once a month for a year. Perhaps I'll learn to love again the skin, bones, lumps and bumps that shape me. Let's see how these big white thighs take to the hills, rivers, sea and beyond. On reflection though, perhaps winter wasn't the best time to start this challenge. It is freezing, it's February, there's no ice, which is good because I thought there might be ice on the side, but there's a really sharp wind. So, that's that. Oh, don't blink. or you might miss it. Oh. Oh me, oh my. Oh my. Whew. That is slippy. Oh. Oh. I have the whole lake to play with, yet I take up only this tiny little corner. Still, it's my first dip and I'm proud of myself. It lasted a grand total of 15 seconds. It's taking my breath away. Oh, I feel good. I feel really good. My feet are freezing. I went in. I think I'm going to go in again. I think the second dip is the dip of fun. The second dip is the fun dip. The first dip is not fun. Second dip, yeah. I'm going to go in one more time. Okay. Don't blink. Don't blink. Oh! What the bloody hell am I doing? Believe me when I say I cringe to watch this footage over. Did I really make all those strange noises? I'm swimming in a lake on my own in February. Oh, 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 oh. Over the next few months I do find ice, and I can tell you from experience that when only my toes and feet are standing in cold water, it is difficult to imagine that within the next few minutes I will be fully submerged. My feet physically ache with the cold, and my mind tells me that surely this is the coldest it's ever been. But with a few swims under my belt, I know I've swum in colder. So with a few deep breaths, tricks of the mind, and a strong word with myself, I dunk. I'm in. It's too shockingly cold to think of anything else, and once your heart has steadied, a wave of exhilaration hits you. Whoosh, and you feel dizzyingly grateful to be alive. It is utterly, brain-clearingly wonderful.
Don't hold back, love. I'll reach out to you.
Over the first few months of the year, I enjoyed exploring parts of North Wales that I'd never been to before, seeking out places to swim and discovering a whole lot more. From an old derelict Victorian brickwork factory to rugged coastlines with seagulls and sea arches. And as it turns into March, I discover Scottish swim spots too. For my dad's birthday, we make a trip to the Isle of Skye. On arrival, the Scottish weather is in full swing.
Right. We're going to have some soup.
We are small.
But even with gusty winds and sideways rain, it possesses a rugged beauty. A beauty, though, that I decided was better observed from dry land. On the third day, with hints of blue skies, I become brave enough to seek out the infamous fairy pools. Surrounded by vivid blues and greens, it takes all the courage and enthusiasm I can muster. I had seriously underestimated the breathtaking low temperatures of the mountain streams. But I was rewarded with a magical underwater arch and a euphoric all-over tingling sensation.
We are small. We are small, but love is big enough.
And even on the long drive home, I'm unable to resist one last quick dip. Could I actually be starting to enjoy submerging this body of mine into cold water? The dips are indeed euphoric, but I still question the sanity of trying to film myself. As a way forward, I debate the virtues of eating a diet composed entirely of salad. For now, I continue with my quest, and to help me, I enlist the support of my good friend Rebecca. So now Rebecca has mastered a very chic diving style, of which I am in awe. Rebecca is also perfectly petite, and when stood next to her, I feel even bigger.
Okay.
And yet, I find myself distracted and growing tired only from all the belly laughter, because I simply enjoy having someone to whoop with in the water.
Isn't that? This is colder. Still takes your breath.
It doesn't it? I think that was really cold that time.
Together we have a mini adventure. 4 swims in 3 days, too many toasted marshmallows, 1 fall into a nettle bush, 1 skinny dip in the rain,
Oh, it's windy as well.
and several talks of 6-foot pikes ready to nibble our toes. The following month, another discovery is made, and that is that jumping into water makes you feel like a kid again. To begin with, my heart is pounding in my throat, even with the smallest of jumps. But by harnessing my inner teenager, I do gradually become braver.
1, 2, 3.
On reviewing the images we captured, I didn't only see unflattering footage this time. I found myself almost enjoying the vision of wibbles and ripples as my body was pushed and pulled underwater. A body in movement. My body in use. Armed with the towel and sun cream, Patrick and I hit the road. A summer road trip means lazy lingering days, rife with possibility.
Don't hold back, love. I'll reach out to you.
I don't feel totally beach ready, but maybe a summer body is merely a winter body with a bigger audience.
Don't be scared, love, I will fight for you.
It was time to master handstands, practice swim strokes and explore nooks and crannies.
We are small. We are small, but love is big enough.
And as we toured the Cornish lanes to find new places to swim, I discovered that one of the best feelings is never quite knowing what the next dip will bring.
Hold my hand, love, I'll stay close to you. We are small. We are small, but love is big enough.
Again?
On one occasion, we squoze our bums through a small hole in a stone. According to local legend, it's a famous pagan fertility ritual, dating back to the Bronze Age. Open to possibility, we both clambered through.
We are small, but
And what do you know?
love is big enough.
A week later, it started with throwing up on the side of the road. And it became a little blue cross on a pregnancy test, and then another digital one, just to be sure. We were chuffed, but we were cautious. Slowly my body changes in front of my very eyes, and I realise that I'm going to have to learn to love different lumps and bumps. Ones that begin to stretch and pull my skin in ways that will no doubt leave it changed forever. And so, the swimming continues into autumn.
And there we have the sunrise. It's time to go for a dip.
At just over 5 months pregnant, I explore another rugged Welsh beach and decide to take on an early dawn swim. By 30 weeks, or 7 months, a number of body observations have become evident. For example, I now know it's possible to suffer simultaneously from a urine infection, heartburn, and constipation. Another peculiar observation is that I'm no longer able to see my own feet. And by feet, I mean vagina. But baby kicks, they are wonderful. At first I was worried that I wasn't feeling anything at all. And then they felt like a tiny fish, or maybe just a little air bubble, until eventually they kept me up at night, as if to sweetly remind me that I am growing a little human. On New Year's Day, at over 7 months pregnant, my winter swims are still a quest for a cold water endorphin rush. But I almost feel like a complete beginner again. We play it safe with only a tiny dip, but it's enough for me.
Oh me, oh my. Oh. Holy moly. Give me a smile. Thank you.
Despite more pursuits of cold water dips, most end up aborted, and I never get further than the side of the road. I listen to my body, and it's just lost that thirst for more, so I'm happy to take it easy for now. I'll leave the snow and ice to other endorphin seekers. It's my time to relax and wait.
Fabulous.
It's been a few months now since the birth of my beautiful son, Arlo. Look at his belly. And as I reflect on the past 18 months, I can confirm that the old Hannah, the old me, is still here. It's fair to say my lumps and bumps have succumbed to gravity, and they're most definitely not locked into youthful peak perky. There is no thigh gap left that I can post to Instagram. But over the course of the last 18 months, I have learnt to turn down the volume of the demands of the world, and to celebrate the quiet heroism of a female life and its body. And as this story comes to an end, I have a newfound appreciation for this beautiful island of ours, and the quiet adventure that can be found when we begin to explore. Life has its ups and downs, but we can find hope in the smallest of things, even if that's the feeling of cold water against your skin. Initially, I feel the water tease my toes, and then I plunge into the deep and all-consuming. Once submerged, I can swim on, strong and happy, cheered and supported by a lack of gravity. Maybe my extra layer of snug helps keep me warm and a little buoyant.